so the next thing we're going to talk about is shipping. So shipping is sometimes difficult. Basically, once you have a system going, it can be really, really easy. So just make it easy for yourself. Don't stress yourself out. First, I'm going to talk about the supplies that you need. So the first thing that I recommend is a Dymo label writer 4XL. They're kind of pricey. If you can find a used one anywhere, definitely pick it up. Ours was used and it's a little broken, but it still prints labels, and that's the important thing. So the reason you want a label printer is because there is nothing more annoying than having to print out each individual label on paper and then cut it out and then tape it onto your packages. It is so much easier to just print out a label and slap it onto the package. So much easier. And believe me, you do not want to spend the extra time. It's definitely worth the investment. So pick up a Dymo. That's the first supply that you want. The second supply I'm going to pop up there is poly mailers. So if you haven't heard of a poly mailer before, basically it's just a little bag that you put your clothes in and you seal it up and you send them out. It's like a bag to mail things in. They're not that expensive really if you buy them in bulk. I usually buy 500 at a time, but when you're first getting started, just buy like 100, just so you can try them out and see if it's worth it. I like to buy from You Pack and Ship. They have really fun designs. I just buy the ones that are on sale. I recommend getting at least 2 sizes. Just get the 10 by 13. It's perfect for t-shirts and shorts, anything small. And then get a 14 by 17, which is perfect for jackets and big poofy things that are going to take up a little bit more space than the 10 by 13. So that's the 2 sizes that I definitely recommend getting. So that's the main supplies you're going to need for shipping. Other than that, if you want to sell things that need to go in a box like a handbag or shoes, you can just get free boxes from the post office for those. They're going to have to be shipped priority mail anyways, so you can just use the priority mail boxes that they have there for free, which is great. You can actually order them from the post office and they'll deliver them to you for free, which is a really cool service that the post office does. Just keep in mind you can only use them to mail priority packages through USPS. Like by law. Like it's illegal to use them for anything else. One more shipping supply that you're going to want to get is a mail scale, or scale for your mail. You don't want to get a kitchen scale unless it's like a really good digital scale, but you really want something that's sizable enough that you can fit any size of package on there. The one that we have is a little small for some packages, but overall it works. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how much you should be charging for shipping. We're going to talk a little bit later about being a top-rated seller and all that, how to qualify for it, but one of the things you need to do for that is to have free shipping. So the advantages of free shipping are, first of all, you don't really have to worry about measuring your package and you don't have to worry about how much it's going to cost to ship. Just keep in mind generally what you think it'll cost. But I would always recommend charging for shipping for a lot of reasons. And the first one is, if you're charging for shipping, it doesn't really matter how much you get for the item because you're not going to lose any money either way. Let's say you have a really basic Pac-Man shirt and you listed it for $10. If you're charging for shipping, they're covering the shipping already. So even if they offer you $5, you're still making a profit. Versus if you have it with free shipping and they offer you $5, that barely costs the cost of shipping, in which case you're not going to make any money. The other reason I don't think that offering free shipping is a good idea is just because if someone is looking for items with free shipping, most likely they don't want to pay a lot of money for it, and that's generally not who you want to be looking for your item, you know what I mean? You're definitely going to get some people who are finding your item and they're buying it because it's a reasonable price and they're like, yay, it's so cheap, which is awesome. That's one of the reasons I love selling on eBay is I'm giving people really good quality clothing for reasonable prices, which I think all clothing should be reasonable prices, but that's a whole other thing. But in the end, you want your buyer to be someone who doesn't mind paying $4 for shipping. Speaking of shipping, let's talk about prices. With USPS, which I recommend shipping with because frankly, I'm pretty sure they're the cheapest, at least 99% of the time. There's basically 2 options you're going to be looking at, and one is first class and one is priority mail. First class can only be from 0 to 1 pound, so if it weighs more than 1 pound, you automatically have to pay priority shipping. So at that point, don't worry about first class. First class usually is somewhere under $5 with the eBay shipping discount, which is really great that they give you a discount. I love that about eBay. I don't think I've ever had something delivered late because of the post office, which is great. Your second option you're going to be looking at is priority mail. So priority mail can be anywhere up to 70 pounds. So that's a lot. You're definitely most likely not going to go over 70 pounds with clothes or shoes or anything unless you're selling all of your clothes at once to someone, in which case, who cares what the shipping cost is? That would be great. So priority mail, the advantage is that it mails usually in 2 to 3 days. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it's 1, which is even better. It costs a little bit more. Usually priority mail is around, I want to say $8, $8 to $9, sometimes 10 or 11 if it's going across the country. And if your customer is paying for shipping, it doesn't really matter, right? The other cool thing about priority mail is something that you can access via this website that I'm going to show you, which is called Pirate Ship. So Pirate Ship will show you the cheapest possible option for your shipping. Now, if you're shipping something under 1 pound, I would recommend just using the eBay website because it's way easier and they give you the best discount. But on Pirate Ship, what's cool is if you're using priority shipping, you can usually actually get it a little bit cheaper. Usually when you're shipping priority, it's by weight, right? So if it's 2 pounds, it's more expensive than 1 pound. But with Pirate Ship, they actually give you access to priority mail cubic, which I haven't seen on any other website, and Pirate Ship seems like the easiest one because you can actually import your listings from eBay into Pirate Ship, which is really convenient. It might tell you that the cheapest way to ship it is going to be through regular priority mail, which is by weight, or it might tell you to do it cubic, which is actually a payment by cubic inch, basically, of the package, which is pretty cool. And it's sometimes cheaper. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is handling time. Like I said, in a little bit I'm going to talk about being a top-rated seller, but for that you have to have a handling time of 1 day or same day, which is a little unrealistic in my opinion. But if you're able to do it, if you're able to 100% of the time get to the post office either the same day or the day after, go for it. This does not include weekends, so keep that in mind. You only have to get to the post office 1 day later, weekday-wise. So if something sells on a Friday and you have a 1 day handling time, it's actually not due to be at the post office until Monday. And they qualify this as when it gets scanned by the post office. So if it's really important to you, make sure you bring it to the counter and ask them to scan it really nicely, because sometimes they get annoyed if it's a lot of packages. I have mine set at 2 day handling time. And the reason behind that is you just never know when something's going to come up and you're not going to be able to get to the post office tomorrow, and you just don't want to stress about it. The other main reason is that sometimes they just don't scan it that day when you drop it off, and it's so much less stressful if you know that it can get scanned the next day and it's no big deal. So that's the reasons I like to do 2 day handling time. Like I said, it means I'll never be qualified for top-rated seller, but I personally don't think that the perks of that outweigh all of the difficulties you have to go through to get that.